Hey guys, this is Sam Spence, Bytown Detailers, serving the Ottawa area with mobile detailing services. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of this pretty common type of damage on the outside of your car. We would call this a paint transfer or a rub, something like that, because you can tell that something rubbed up against the side of the car. And if you run your finger over it, you can kind of feel some raised parts and some lowered parts. It's pretty it looks pretty bad, so we're gonna get rid of it today, and I'll show you guys exactly how I do that. So first things first, you always want to clean the area you're working on. So if you're not washing the whole car, at least clean the area you're working in. I'm just using an alcohol and water solution to just clean up the area around it so that I don't introduce any dirt into the working area. First thing we're going to use here is a 3000 grit piece of sandpaper. It doesn't even look or feel like sandpaper because it is so fine. 3000 grit is crazy. Spray bottle with soapy water. Spray it onto the scratch. And I always like to spray a little bit onto my sandpaper as well. And now, very gently, just start lightly wet sanding. It might be hard to see because of the water and the soap on the surface, but you can already kind of tell that it's already starting to go away. So we're gonna clean up. So now you can see the sanding marks that I've left. And now, if I run my finger up and down, it feels extremely smooth. I'm gonna do one more round of wet sanding before moving on to the polish. You can still kind of barely see the outline of where the scratch slash paint transfer happened. At this point, it's not necessary to go any further with the wet sanding because of course we don't want to remove too much clear coat. So the next step now would be to polish it. So for the next step, in order to blend these sanding marks that we just created, we're going to be using a dual action polisher with a foam pad, and we're going to be using some Meguiar's compound. You can buy this at pretty much any store, any hardware store, Canadian Tire, that sort of thing. So there is a way that you can do this without a polisher as well. And the way you do that is just by taking a clean microfiber towel and then putting a little bit of the Meguiar's compound onto the towel. And then you would buff it in a circular motion like this. But that requires a lot more elbow grease. And because I have a polisher with me, I'm just going to use the polisher. So I just applied a few pea-sized droplets to my foam pad. Now I'm going to evenly spread the compound across the area that we are working with. And then we buff it in. So now to remove the leftover compound, I'm going to use alcohol again. Spray it all over and use a clean microfiber towel to get that all off. So now the scratch is basically gone. So in order to get rid of any last imperfections or any faint outlines of where the scratch was, we're going to be using another foam pad. This one is a bit more light. It's a little bit more cushiony, and it's going to take off less clear coat. And then we are also going to be using this right here, which is ultra finish polish, and it takes off very little amounts of clear coat, basically just enough to get rid of any top layer imperfections, any imperfections that you can just barely see with the eye, to really make sure that this panel looks basically brand new. Once again, you'll need a few pea-sized droplets like this. And the idea here is that we are trying to blend this panel and the area we were working in to make it look like nothing even happened. So as you can tell, that scratch is completely gone. You can't even tell where it was. I'll show you guys from some different angles. As you can see, that is completely gone.